I built a fully functioning SaaS business in 10 days, and in this video I wanted to share how I did it, where I messed up and how much I earned with it so far. Totally transparent. There is a huge hype surrounding micro-SaaS and I wanted to find out what's behind it. But first, what is micro-SaaS? SaaS, or software as a service, is basically like Spotify, but for software. Instead of buying and downloading all the songs to your device, you access them over the internet and pay a subscription fee. When your subscription ends, you don't have access anymore. With micro-SaaS, you build out a tiny software with just one feature and ship it as fast as possible to validate it. Now, I wanted to find out if micro-SaaS is actually a legit way to get some of that sweet subscription money, as the leverage on your time can be huge when you build a software, because after doing the work once, you can sell it to as many people as you want. So I built a micro-SaaS and it took me about 10 days as I did not have any prior experience in coding. Using no-code tools like Bubble would have been an option, but I decided to use Shipfast from Mark Liu. Definitely the more expensive option. However, I wanted to learn a little bit of coding, and I mean, what could possibly go wrong if you have never coded before, right? Well, a few things did, but we'll come to that. Before I could build anything, I first of all needed an idea, but luckily one was presented to me. When I was visiting a client for a workflow automation project, he asked me if I could build out another automation solution for him afterwards. And instead of building the solution for just that one client and getting paid for the project, I thought, why not build this out as a SaaS, have a first customer to test it with, and possibly sell it to others as well. So that's what I did. The idea was to build out a digital entrance sign for co-working spaces. This sign would be always up to date, as soon as a member joins a space, he would be automatically added to the sign and removed upon canceling his membership. This way, co-working spaces could save a lot of time manually changing the names on their sign, and errors would be less likely as well. Owners of co-working spaces can now just create an account on my website, connect to their co-working space management software, and display their members on any display that connects to the internet and is able to display a basic web page. So far, so good. Now, in order to build the project, I bought Shipfast, a boilerplate, or for non-developers, a code template, created by a solopreneur and upcoming YouTuber called Mark Liu. After a fairly quick setup, this template provided me with user authentication, payment processing, and a landing page to display my product. Right here, however, the documentation of Shipfast ended and I was on my own, trying to learn how to code while building the actual feature of my project. Using a boilerplate helped me to understand how to structure my project, while ChatGPT helped me with writing the code. Sometimes it took some iterations before the code snippet started working, but together we managed to build everything I needed in the end. Now, the biggest challenge was to integrate the co-working space management software into my product. For this, I built an OAuth flow and let the user create his own API token that gets saved to the database. This enabled me to make API calls in the name of the user to receive the necessary data in order to synchronize the display with the current members of the space. As my coding skills were still limited, I had to find a workaround for displaying the members. So I used make.com, a no-code automation builder that I was already familiar with, to handle the workflows responsible for synchronizing the display with the members of the space. I also used it to build out the user registration flow, where I needed to set up some webhooks for different scenarios. Webhooks are basically listeners on the internet. Whenever a webhook is triggered, the provided information can be processed. Let me make an example. Whenever a new member is added to the co-working space, the member ID gets sent to my webhook. In make.com, I can now use this member ID provided by the webhook to get more information about that newly added member from the REST API of the co-working management software and add the member to the display. For the display, believe it or not, I'm using WordPress. Make.com lets you automate the process of creating a post in WordPress. So each member of the space has his own post with his name as the title, his ID as the slug, and the space he's a member of as a category. In WordPress, I then used a custom shortcode, which again, ChatGPT helped me write, to display the members of that space on a page. which is a category page in WordPress. Please don't roast me in the comments for this rather creative solution or workaround. This is the first version of this SaaS and I need to validate the idea further before I build out a custom solution. For now, it works perfectly fine and does what it needs to do. Additionally, Make.com allows me to debug the processes more easily, which as a beginner is quite nice. On the display page, I have a little script running that refreshes the page every 30 minutes to be always up to date. I then added some smaller features like display customization and member removal before I published my micro-SaaS to the internet. And the customers came rolling in. Well, not quite. One customer came and I already knew them. However, this is not surprising as I did not do any marketing so far. Initially, my plans for marketing were to get listed as an add-on for the co-working space management software. After speaking to them, they wanted to publish a blog post going over my add-on instead, which also sounded nice. Now, the thing is, all of this happened 3 months ago. Last week, and after asking for updates several times, they finally wrote me in order to get the blog post started. I guess we will see how long this takes. I just wanted to create this video as many people were curious after my review on ShipFast. In the future, I will definitely learn from this mistake and never rely on others for my marketing again, even if that means spending a little bit on ads. So, how much money did I make with this project so far? Buying ShipFast set me back just 122 euros as I bought it at a discounted price on AppSumo. Sorry, Mark. My one paying customer is on a yearly plan for 192 euros per year. Taking into consideration the cost of the domain, I made a profit of about 65 euros so far, which is a very terrible hourly rate. However, this project was valuable nevertheless. I learned some basic principles of coding and who knows, maybe someday in the future the blog post gets published and additional customers come rolling in. If you don't want to miss future updates and want to follow me on my journey, feel free to subscribe. For now, that's my first try building a micro-SaaS, and obviously it's not as easy as some YouTubers make it seem. Building the SaaS is one thing, but actually marketing it and getting some paying customers is a completely different story. In hindsight, I would have probably made more money just taking on the project and getting paid by the hour. We will see if that changes someday. Now, feel free to leave some feedback in the comments and like this video if you enjoyed watching it. See you in the next one. Bye.